Hi, everyone. Welcome to the School Garden Support Organization Network virtual gathering. We are focusing today on distance teaching and learning during COVID-19. Welcome. We're probably going to go ahead and just jump right in. We've got a bunch of people who are excited to share with you today. My name is Tristana and I am with Whole Kids Foundation. And if you could go to the next slide, just to share a couple of housekeeping items with you. This will be recorded, and so we will be sharing a copy of that recording in the follow-up email, both for if you are attending as well as if you miss it or if you need to go early. We'll be doing questions at the end. So we'll be leaving hopefully at least 10 to 15 minutes for questions. So as questions come up during this gathering, just go ahead and enter them in, type them into the question section of the control panel that you should see if you're either on your phone using the GoToWebinar app or on your computer. If you are just calling in, there won't be a way to ask questions, unfortunately. But as they kind of come up, just go ahead and ask them, and we'll do our best to answer as many questions as we can at the end. And then there's also a copy of the presentation in the handout section. So in your control panel, you'll see a section called handouts, and there is a copy of this presentation for today. So a little bit about the School Garden Support Organization Network, just for a quick overview. We are a professional learning community of individuals who work and are part of organizations that support multiple school gardens. And we're just seeking to share as much as possible best practices, connection, and tips for how to do this work that we do all across the country and beyond. Our website is the SGSO-Network.org. And we figured that during this time that is very different for all of us, that we'd come together and do these virtual gatherings. And so if you go to the next slide, we are doing virtual gatherings on different topics. So today we're diving into distance teaching and learning. On April 22nd, we're going to do garden care and management. Again, all kind of focused about during COVID-19. April 29th, we'll be diving into maintaining your fiscal stability. May 6th, running your school garden support org and kind of supporting your staff. And in addition to these virtual gatherings, there are specific topics related there are specific kind of organization of these topics on our forum as well. So we'll be kind of showing you how to get to our forum. And in addition to these virtual gatherings, which we hope are just a lot of best practice sharing, we'll also be doing just kind of a get together. If you attend any of our SGSO Unite events at conferences, you know that these are just times for us to get to know each other and network, have fun, and celebrate our successes. So we're going to do that in place of what would have been the farm to cafeteria conference gathering. We're so sad we're not able to come together for that. But we're going to do it virtually on April 24th. It's a Friday. I think mocktails and just kind of sharing of successes and just kind of having breakout sessions on Zoom. So hopefully you can join us then. All of the gatherings, so that you know, are at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And with that, I believe I'm going to pass it off to Sarah Pounders from kidsgardening.org. Huge thank you to Sarah for organizing this entire gathering. So thank you, Sarah.
No problem. So yes, today's topic is distance teaching and learning. And we're going to start off with just the introduction. I'm just going to point out some of the resources that Tristana has touched on a little bit. And then we are going to have 4 speakers who are going to kind of show us what they're doing in a little bit of more in-depth. And when I say in-depth, like 3 or 4 minutes. So we are trying to make sure that we hear from as many people as possible today. And then we're going to follow it up with some additional community discussion time. We had some folks who responded back on the registration surveys that they'd be interested in sharing. So we're going to have that swap in next. And then we hope we will still have room for some questions and answers at the end. But we do want to kick it off just really quickly at the beginning, so we kind of get a basis where everyone's at with a poll. Are you currently providing distance teaching or learning opportunities? So I think Tristana is going to launch that for us. let's see, I think it should be showing up here. So we're really just kind of looking for a yes, no, or not yet, or working on it. So trying to get an idea of where everybody's at in the process. And then looks like a lot of us, about more than half, are already working on it or are starting to work on it. So lots of us, these ideas hopefully can be put into practice. Okay, and the next poll is, if you are providing distance learning, who is your focus? So we're kind of looking to see, are you trying to provide resources for teachers, for parents, directly for kids? We know everybody kind of has a little bit different take on what they are providing right now, and who is your direct audience. So if you can just take a second to let us know on that. Okay, so once again, it looks like everybody's trying to reach everybody. So looks like it's from kids to students and teachers, parents. So hopefully we'll have a little bit for everyone today too. So excellent, and some folks doing some professional development during this time too. So, and the last question is, if you're providing distance learning, how are you sharing? So are you using digital means? Are you using pre-recorded? Are you using live? Or if we'll also look to see if you're having others too. So let's see what main means are going. So if you can just get your answer in, let's see. And the answers are, so a few of you have live. We've also got a lot of recorded, and just also providing digital resources. And then we've got the 3% down there that are doing the printed resources too. So thank you guys so much for this feedback. It's great to kind of get an idea for what people are doing. So my name is Sarah Pounders. I'm an education specialist with Kids Gardening. So I just wanted to give you a very brief look at all of the great resources that are up on this School Garden Support Organization website. So on this page, I first want to start out with a big thank you to John Fisher. John has done an excellent job putting all this together for us and just making it in a very attractive package. So make sure to send John Fisher your thanks. Also, we just some of the big highlights that are available is the forum, like Tristana said. You can sign up for the forum. You can get updates through the forum through email, but we also wanted to remind everybody that you can also just go to Google groups so you can kind of see them all together. Sometimes that might be easier to read than it is to try and find it in amongst all of your emails. And all of the topics are being tagged COVID-19 so that hopefully they're easier to find. And they're also, we've kind of got 5 big topics that go along with the different virtual gatherings that are being offered to try and kind of combine everybody's feedback. It kind of all started out in one big discussion, and so we kind of tried to divide it out to make it a little bit easier. And also another big thank you to John. He has put together a great database where you can list your different digital resources that you're offering and show people kind of what is there. You can kind of see what it looks like. We've got a few pages up there from things that people had already shared through the forum, but there's a link there where you can submit your resources to be put into the database. So it's a Google form. There's links all the way through, and in addition to this link that's in the presentation, there will also be an email coming out after the gathering so that you can find this link. So it's a great resource so that you can see what other people are doing and share what you are doing too. So I don't want to talk too long. I want to jump right into our speakers. Our first speaker is Kim, and she is from Slow Food USA, and she's going to share a little bit about what they are doing at this time. So turn it over to Kim.
Sorry, I got going with muted. I was muted. I'm the co-chair of the Slow Food USA School Garden Network. All the resources that I'm going to share today can be found at slowfoodusa.org. The first resource is the Slow Food Live. Those are going on daily, every weekday, and there's different topics from food and cooking, health and wellness, and the gardening ones are they're student based, so it's appropriate for children and families. Some of the food and cooking and health and wellness are as well. So you can find those. The garden lessons are on Thursday, and that's daily at 2 o'clock Eastern time. So register at Slow Food USA for that one. The second resource is the Plant a Seed campaign is going on with Slow Food USA. Every year we have this campaign, and this year they've sourced seeds from all over the United States that will grow in every region. They're historically significant and Arc of Taste seeds. They come with a story and background and history about the culture of the food. So that's a really good opportunity. You can buy your kits now. They're on there. You can find that at slowfoodusa.org. And then the last resource is our curriculum. Slow Food USA School Garden Network curriculum is available online, or you can order it if you need a hard copy of it. But there's great resources there if you're looking for more resources. We are a network of school garden educators across the country. Our hashtag is Snail Kids. So we'd like to see you in our forum on Facebook, and we're on Instagram and all over social media. So there you go. Thank you.
All right, next up is Lisa from Junior Master Gardeners.
Well, thank you for letting me be a part of this today. Exciting, and we have had some online professional development and teacher and volunteer training, but I specifically wanted to share something that we were doing in response to COVID-19. Junior Master Gardener is part of the Cooperative Extension Network nationally. Sarah, if you'll advance the slide, there's our social media contacts, and you'll see that. Be sure and follow us. We had a lot of schools that were doing junior master gardening that said, you know, we're not going to be able to finish. Could y'all offer something? So we actually have been doing a virtual junior master gardening national group. This is the kind of a link from our landing page of our website, jmgkids.us. And we do it every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if you'll click to the next slide, Sarah. This is a little bit about the class. So from that landing page on our website, we have a Google document for parents to sign up their children. We email the families updates weekly with reminders. And on this page, there's a list of all the lessons that will be covered in each session and supply lists that the children might need. At the time I submitted this, we had 717 families. That's grown. We have about 1,300 children now that are participating, and we do have the sessions saved where people can go back and view those at a later time. And the next slide. So there's a kind of a sample of our landing page, so you can see what they have. There's PDFs of the Junior Master Gardening curricula that are on there, and week by week what the different sessions will be covered and what parents or teachers can utilize. Okay, the next slide. One of the things that I wanted to share were just some best practice tips. We have our JMG, some from our national office, and then some of our state coordinators. We have a Google Docs where they sign up to be monitors on the chat section of the Facebook Live. And one person kind of serves as a coordinator. We set up a private chat group, and they help answer questions. They monitor the sessions that come through. It's really been helpful to have that as a part of it. We target 20 minutes in length. We typically have one person that is filming and one person that's host. We do it all with an iPad, and we do have an external microphone. It's what we have. We found that works for us. We do have a monopod that helps to have a little more control to hold the iPad steady. And we've been able to utilize the A&M Gardens because we have good Wi-Fi on campus to be able to do that, but we have done a few from our home. That question answer team we found to be really important part of it. We have used session hashtags to encourage children and families to post and share their work. And then we search those on social media And we have kind of a gallery of those on the landing page for our JMG website. At the end, the children are going to be able to get certification in our Plant Growth and Development Unit, which is our Golden Ray certification. And we are doing a Qualtrics evaluation for those children and families that participated. That's a project that we're doing collaboratively through Texas A&M University and the University of Nevada. So we're pretty excited about that, and just kind of a little bit of learning as we're going through it, but it's been going real well. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll have Tara next from City Blossoms.
Hi, yes, I'm Tara, and I'm the Executive Director with City Blossoms. We're a nonprofit in Washington, D.C., and our focus is on fostering healthy communities through developing creative, kid-driven green spaces. You can go to the next slide, please. And so we do this by engaging children and youth from early childhood through high schools and gardens at their schools or in their neighborhoods. And we use them as a platform to teach sustainable gardening, cooking, art, environmental science, and community development. Next slide. But then, you know, as March came around, we were just gearing up to start revving up our programs, especially our weekly Saturday volunteer work days at our 30 or so garden sites around the city, because this is a big part of what we do, is gathering these community builds around the garden so that neighbors and families can come together over a shared space. But then with the shelter-in-place measures in DC, we had to ask ourselves a few things, such as how do we still come together as a community, which is really the why we do what we do, and what do we do best? We knew that we'd be most effective at helping our community if we adapted, but still stayed within our lane of what we're already good at. And then what are our communities telling us is needed? So we gave our teachers that we work with a survey to find out what would they find most useful. Would it be lessons that we could adapt for them to send home on, like doing gardening activities at home with your homeschooling child? Whether like videos or virtual tours of the garden would be well used, if free seeds and seedlings for their gardens would have an impact, if anyone was able to still go and maintain those school gardens while they're closed. And you can go to the next slide. So what we've landed on doing is providing virtual lessons and activities for teachers to share with their students, so that they can have our different lessons that have been adapted for doing at home. And we're sharing even more free resources on our website. You can find it at cityblossoms.org. But we share a lot of our resources also through our social media pages. As you can see in the photo, for example, we've shared a lot of free recipes that are good for doing with kids and easy to do at home. And we also knew on that note that it was really important during this time to not just like go underground, but to be communicating even more with our audiences. So we found it useful to have a calendar of what we're sharing with families on social media each day. And for example, Wednesdays, our theme is to share a recipe from our cookbook, a garden-based recipe. And Fridays are videos of our staff showing how to plant carrot seeds or start a bean trellis. And this has helped us really feel like there's a rhythm to the week and organizing our content. And then we're also using our community green spaces to still farm fresh food, which we're then getting out into the community. So whereas before our neighborhood community green spaces maybe had more of a focus on education, on bringing children and youth from the neighborhood in for learning and expression, we're now really farming it intensively to try to provide that fresh food access. But we're also able to keep 2 of our community green spaces open to the neighbors for using as therapeutic access to nature, which we're finding is even more important right now for people to have that mental and physical break, especially in an urban environment. where we're all stuck in our homes, and we need that kind of mental, emotional green therapy support. And then lastly, another way that we've adapted, and that's been pretty cool, is that we've started to establish new collaborations with other nonprofits in DC that are also working on urban farming education. We used to be more like allies and very friendly, but really over the past few weeks, we've dug into working on some integrated projects together and like putting our combined forces together so that we can together adapt really quickly and come up with new products that will just help the broader community and help all of our families more. And that's it for City Blossoms.
Oops. Thank you so much. Sorry about the slip up on the slides there. And next up, we have Chelsea from Greener Planet.
Good morning. So I'm Chelsea from Greener Planet. I'm the Events and Virtual Academy Coordinator. And so we have a big old staff of about 30 folks, and we do a lot of different programming. We're all over social media. Our Instagram and our Facebook are our most live, as well as our YouTube is where we're putting all of our resources. But if you go to that next slide, we offer, our mission and goal is to kind of give the STEAM curriculum and STEM works accredited curriculum that we have through both our financial literacy, our nutrition, our science-based programming, and each of our departments kind of play their own part. So we offer not only our classes in the outdoor gardens and our indoor hydroponics program, but we also have our giant farmers market twice a year, a school garden conference, and our network that we've created of all of our folks that are kind of coming together and providing those different avenues for their folks. So if you want to go to our next slide, that gets into the different departments that we do have. So when you talk about Greener Planet, there's a lot of things that we do, and I usually forget some of it because there's so many avenues. Our main focus started with one school garden here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and now we're up over to 180 school gardens. We have 7 full-time farmers that are out there harvesting and maintaining the gardens. There's a lot of them on our webinar here today. And we also have them teaching the STEM curriculum. So we have not only a STEMworks curriculum for the garden program, but also for our hydroponics program K-5 as well. And our hydroponics program is all over the United States. We've recently expanded to Alaska, to New York, Florida, Louisiana, Missouri. And so we have those different departments where we're teaching a variety of different programs, also working with our financial literacy. So the financial literacy bankers, we have 19 different banks in Nevada that we're working with, over 100 volunteers that go to not only our farmers market and act as coaches for the students that are selling their produce, but they go in prior to the market for 2 different classes where they're teaching hands-on lessons on why credit is important, how do we get credit, how do we maintain our accounts, and how do we come up with a business plan and implement it so that they do become farmpreneurs that's actually backed by our Las Vegas Chamber out here. And then we also have our nutrition program. So we have 2 full-time nutrition chefs that are providing a nutrition curriculum. They are creating chef demos and presenting those in the schools. So they're actually getting these kids together, teaching them how to create a meal with their families, but also why it's important to eat the healthy rainbow, not just the Skittles rainbow. If you want to go to that next slide. Things that we've done to adapt. So a lot of that is in the schools. We have 180 schools, over 230 programs nationwide. Now we can't go out there. So we've adapted by using the Greener Planet Virtual Academy. It, as of this morning, officially has its own webpage on our website. If you go into greenerplanet.org/virtualacademy, we have a landing page with all of our resources for teachers that has nutrition lessons, STEM lessons, gardening lessons, farmer tips. It's also broken down by grade level. So we primarily focus on K-5, but a lot of our lessons can be scaled up or down depending on the schools. We're also in middle schools and high schools here in Las Vegas. And we also have a weekly newsletter that goes out. So not only do we have the website, but our newsletter goes out every week, usually on Tuesdays, that provides 6 new videos every week. We do a chef lesson of the week and our farmer lesson of the week, but we also do a competition. So we're including our hydroponics, and sometimes we have guest videos as well. So we have partnerships with the local restaurants, with our STEM nationwide. So we have different folks coming in and providing those videos for us. If you want to go to that next slide, we have some advice for all of you, and that's to be flexible. A big part of what Green Our Planet does really well is, and has helped prepare us for the situation with COVID-19, is to adapt to our environment and the environment we're in, and know who our audience is. So all of our content is directed towards the students, but we also send it out to the teachers as a resource to give to them. And we're rolling out our new farmer series next week. So our students will actually be able to tune into a webinar with the farmers to Ask a Farmer Friday. So they're gonna be able to come in and ask questions, interact with their farmers, because our farmers are in each school at least once a week to interact with those kids, and they really build a history with them. So it's really good for them to get involved still while we're not actively in the schools with them. Our farmers are out there harvesting. We've partnered with local food banks like 3 Square, and our restaurant Honey Salt locally is providing meals for the students and families in town. And so all the produce that we were gearing up for our farmers market next week is now being used to help feed the communities free of charge, which is really great. And so I'll leave you with a quote that it's not the strongest or the most intelligent who will survive, but those who can manage best, or best manage the change. I'm sorry. Oh no, I'm sorry. My cats are in my house. And so we would love to just encourage you to adapt and see everything with a bit of positivity on what you do best and how to move forward. And that's it for me.
Well, thank you guys so much. I know I already have questions that I'd like to ask all of you, but first, we did have a number of additional volunteers that had said that they would like to share some of the things that they were doing when, like I said, when the surveys went out. And so what we're going to do is kind of try and go through those folks to give, these are going to be even quicker, kind of an overview of what they're doing, but hopefully you'll get a chance to just get a glimpse of some of the other programs that are out there, and with links and to more information. And of course, we hope to get all of that into the page on the SGSO site too. So first up, let me just say we've kind of got a lineup of an order of folks that are going to speak, and so we are going to try and pipe people in fairly quickly. So what I'll do is I'll start out and say who's up next, and then I'll also make a quick notion of who's coming up next after that, so you can kind of get prepared. So the first up we have is Chloe Miller, and she would be followed up by Lauren Maples. And I believe Tristana is going to be able to pipe everybody in.
Right.
Are there
Hi,
any more direct?
everybody.
Oh,
Hi. So I'm a food corps service member in Boston, Massachusetts, and I technically serve at one school and through an AmeriCorps program, teaching gardening, cooking, etc. And I've been able to access like a Google site and kind of share my virtual lessons each week via this Google site for distance learning that's linked here. But we have actually created a Massachusetts YouTube channel. If anyone wanted to look at those virtual lessons that we've created via videos, and Food Corps as an organization nationally, a lot of the service members are making videos posted on Facebook, on Instagram. We have the Boss Food Love Instagram. We have Food Corps Instagram, Chicopee Fresh, which is another Food Corps partner organization, Healthy Chelsea, which is based in Chelsea through MGH, the hospital there. And these are all organizations that Food Corps works with Food Corps service members that have been posting videos on social media, on YouTube, and using these as platforms to share virtual lessons, and then connecting through the schools we work in to produce them directly for the families.
Right, thank you so much, Chloe. So next up we have Lauren Maples, and she'll be followed by Wendy Baker.
Great, thank you, Sarah. This is actually Tristana, just jumping in real quick just to say that if you do download the handout with the copy of the presentation, then you'll be able to click on all of these links or copy and paste them into your browser. So just a little tip right there. And Lauren Maples, I am unmuting you right now.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Lauren Maples. I'm the Executive Director of PEAS. We are located in Austin, Texas. And in general, we work with 19 local schools and support school day gardening programming. And we have 2 culinary education programs. Sounds like a lot of us are doing the same things. We have converted to doing building out a distance learning page on our website, and the link is there. And then we also have now created another page with resources in Spanish because we have a high number of students and families that need Spanish resources. I'm going to try to highlight what we're doing that may be a little unique from what other people are doing. One thing that I haven't heard that has been working for us for reaching families more directly is reaching out through the parent social media pages for our schools. And that's where we're getting the most response, that people are finding and doing our activities with their kids. And we have ways to engage them by having an online inquiry question form that they fill out. It's just made with a Google form. And then we will be doing some drawings for people who are local to Austin for some summer fun type activity, gift cards and things like that. We're hoping that will help the students actually go beyond the lesson and put some more thought into the activities, and we're trying to keep them pretty fun too. So it's not just their standard activity that they're doing at home. We also are working now to get funding to build out, to go into the community, into the families. We won't personally because of social distancing, but dropping off materials at family homes of students that we're working with, so they can build their own home gardens. A lot of our students live in apartments, and so really creating this container garden package that someone could get some tomatoes and peppers and some other fun stuff growing on their balconies and porches over the summer, and then providing support for that through phone calls and video tutorials and then video chats. I feel like a lot of the other stuff we're doing is similar to what I've been hearing, so I will go ahead and, the other thing is we're thanking some of our funders through our videos as we are creating video activities. If they're tied to curriculum of funders that we're working with, then we're highlighting those funders. So there's an example of that in the package if you want to look at one of ours, and it's a fun yoga activity if you need some yoga. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Those are all great tips to keep in mind. So next up we have Wendy Baker, and she will be followed by Jamie.
Aloha, my name is Wendy Baker, and I am from Hawaii, and with Hawaii Island School Garden Network. We are, let's see, I was actually kind of surprised. I think I must have been enthusiastic when I signed up and said, yes, I'll talk, and then I forgot. I'm a school garden teacher, so I've been busy getting my curriculum online. And here with Hawaii Island School Garden Networks, where our mission is to cultivate relationships among children, teachers, and the land. We work on establishing a vibrant network that supports the growth and integration of school learning gardens through professional development, advocacy, mentorship, and technical assistance. We're really, I guess what we're trying to do to respond to this COVID-19 is, there's been a few things that we've done already. We're really trying to beef up our social media presence and communicate with our students and community. We've included some food and plants and activities in the garden through Kokua kits, which are little help kits that we've sent out to the families. Families drive by, we pick them, we drop them in the back of their car. So one of the things was school tea packets. So we make garden teas, and then a video to support kids making the teas at home. We're working also with the student intern to generate social media content. Planting, one of the goals that we'd like to do, we're still working on finding funding, is doing fast growing plants. So planting seeds to share with and starts with students, our school community, and our wider community. We're just really working on making personal connections with students via phone, social, internet, and media, and supporting teachers with home garden-based curriculum, lessons, materials, and information. We're actually holding a school garden talk story on Friday, just a Zoom program, so that teachers can come in. We put out a Google survey and just seeing what they need and how we can best support them.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next up is Jamie, and it's going to be followed by Neha, and I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but Jamie's up first.
Hi everyone, I'm Jamielovato from Poughkeepsie Farm Project in Poughkeepsie, New York. We are a farm-based nonprofit. We work with about 8 school gardens plus several on-site, several gardens at our community farm. We have transitioned to a lot of similar things that folks have been talking about. So I'm just going to mention the ones that are slightly different, or maybe build on it. So one thing that we've already released is some digital story times. So members of our team reading some garden-based children's literature, and talking about some of the connections and also connecting with our students. So right now we have Right This Very Minute done in both English and in Spanish, and Charlotte and the Quiet Place that are live on our YouTube channel right now. You can find them at the link on this slide. We're also putting together some cooking workshops that will have some meal kits and cooking tools that we will be distributing at free meal sites around our small city. And also we're planning to deliver some of those to families who are not able to make it to the meal sites. We are calling and texting the families that we work with, and we are also distributing fresh produce bags at the free meal sites, along with bilingual handouts and coloring sheets. And then similarly to what other folks have talked about, gardening videos and container gardening kits. And we are really excited to learn all of the things that you all are doing, and are currently trying to figure out the best platform for public live programming. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So next up, and like I said, is Neha, and then following that will be Marla. Oops.
Hi, everybody. My name is Neha Shah, and I'm a teacher in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. I'm also a school garden coordinator, and then I co-chair the Farm to School Collaborative here, and we support about 25 school gardens in the district. I think most of us are doing very similar things. So some of the things that we're working on, just like the speaker before me, was the reading gardening books out loud, but also things that we haven't maybe touched on is thinking about potentially, if there are gardens that are not accessible, planting cover crops to at least continue with having pollinators come in. There's annuals that we're thinking about planting for school gardens that just can't really get in there, and we don't want things to go to weeds. Right now I'm in the state of Michigan, and we are under strict regulation because we're in a serious hotspot, and things are really tough for us. And so they're ever changing. So everything we want to do, we have to continue to change. But another thing we're looking at is in the summer, because our schools are shut down for the rest of the year, is to kind of turn those spaces into community access gardening spaces, in the sense that we would just grow very simple things and then donate them to the local food banks and to Chartwell's, our food service director. And not just that, we were going to focus a lot on herbs. We have a community partner that we do herbs, that grow seedlings for us for herbs. And so one of the people that we were going to grow it at the botanical garden, and that's shut down as well. So I think I was going to grow some herbs, and then she was going to grow some, because we have the capacity at home, and then distribute them that way. We want to also be able to, at some point, provide those opportunities for kids to pick up seedlings, if possible, for herbs, since they're very easy to do, and they can sit on windowsills, and they don't, you know, they could be on a balcony or not on a balcony, so you can still grow them inside in your kitchen. So herbs were something we wanted to focus on, and just lots of seed starting videos, and trying to get people to be thinking about how to plant seeds, trying to think if there's anything else that wasn't covered already. I think that's essentially it. Right now it's snowing in Michigan, so it's kind of crazy that we're not really, we were thinking about gardening, and now it's just on hold for a minute. But if you have any questions about what we're doing, please contact us. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. So next up we have Marla, and she will be followed by Shay.
Awesome, thanks. Hi, everyone. So I'm here representing Big Green. We are a national nonprofit that focuses on connecting kids to real food through our networks of learning gardens and food literacy programming. So we work on a national scale. I'm in Chicago, Illinois. We also have snow. But the resource I wanted to share out with you all today is a new website that we've developed called Big Green at Home, which is separate from our Big Green regular website. So this website definitely was, you know, inspired by the unique circumstances that we're all in, but mostly when we're working within our learning gardens, we are connecting to teachers through garden teams. So we work with garden teams at the schools that we support. Mostly teachers are part of those garden teams, very few parents and a few families. So we wanted to kind of be able to reach out to families at home while also being able to support the educators that we work with regularly. And that's what Big Green at Home has. So it's resources for both families, for gardening and nutrition activities and exploration at home, and then professional development and more tailored activities for teachers to be utilizing for distance learning, and also doing themselves, or sharing out with their students to do at home too. And we have launched a new educator Facebook group as well to support anybody who's trying to do distance learning with and incorporating growing. We also, so another part of our family outreach has been sending out weekly activity bundles that our program team, which is the part of Big Green that I'm a part of, the program team has been developing content for weekly bundles of activities that are sent out in an email that focus on growing, activities that you need a growing space for, activities you don't need a growing space for, videos, and then also kind of just extension lessons. And those come to people's inboxes on a weekly basis if they've signed up, and the sign up link is on that Big Green at Home site as well. So that is very brief overview, and yeah, it's great to hear from all of you and hear what you're all doing as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So next up is Shay, and she'll be followed by Bianca.
Hi. Yeah, I'm Shay Scribner. I'm located just east of Seattle, Washington, working at Oxbow Farm and Conservation Center. And we've been doing a few things since we are a working farm right now. We are able to connect with a local school district we've worked with before. They're doing meal pickups for families at the school. So once a week, we are also providing fresh produce and sharing starts and seeds along with printed resources and activity write-ups for families coming to pick up food, which is not listed on the slide. But what is on the slide there is something I'd love to get you all involved in, is a recent launch of the Earth Month Journal Challenge. So we are doing weekly journaling prompts that we're sharing through social media, mainly Facebook and Instagram, posting videos with the prompts, as well as a link in our website to a written up description. So if you have any ideas for journal prompts, we'd of course love to hear those. And then you can use the hashtag, it's at the bottom of the slide there, Earth Month Journal Challenge, to share your work. So we're encouraging fellow educators to help connect this way. We're happy to promote your work and include you in social media tags, share your resources as well. Just trying to build more connections and promote each other. And another thing that I am working on a little bit separately from Oxbow right now is some coordinating with a national cooperative gardens working group. So you can check that out, coopgardens.org. There's a lot of resources on there for gardening. And the idea behind it is to build a network across the United States and Canada, coordinating resource sharing to promote food security and community building. So again, that's coopgardens.org, and I'm on the seed distribution group. So there's a lot of seed that's being donated from some large companies, all open pollinated, not accepting GMO donations, so that folks can comfortably grow at home. So I'm putting together a seed distribution hub for the Seattle area, getting seeds particularly to poor, Black, Indigenous, people of color, marginalized communities who really need this free resource. So if you feel like you could also be a seed distribution hub, I'd really recommend checking that out, coopgardens.org. And yeah, go ahead and reach out to me as well if you have any questions. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Sorry about that slide malfunction there. So next up is Bianca. I'm not sure, is Bianca able to come on?
Yes, I'm not sure if this is working either. I'm kind of in and out with the mic. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. My name is Bianca Niski, and our school garden is located at the Ethel Jacobson School in Surf City on Long Beach Island. I'm the school nurse here and the lonely schoolyard gardener, keeping our garden space green and believing there will be children back in the garden as soon as safely possible. We were able to plant our spring garden on March the 12th before New Jersey schools closed on March the 13th, and our intentions were to showcase our 10 years of schoolyard gardening, and our veggie choices were to be incorporated into a school-wide taste test celebrating, of course, the garden and in the classroom. And the idea was to let us celebrate a decade of digging in the dirt. That is the name of our gardening program and our gardening website. And actually, the only thing that I wanted to do was to share my principal's video that he had created for EJ school families. I'm not sure if we can do that, but I believe that there's a link for you to be able to see that.
Yes, the link is there. So if anyone would like to get a chance to see that, just copy down the PDF file and you'll be able to watch that later. Thank you so much. Okay, so next up we have Leah or Lee, I'm not sure, and then followed by Jennifer.
Yeah, thanks. I'm Leah Sokolowski-Burstein. I work with the Organic Gardener in the Chicago area. We design, build, maintain, and teach at school gardens and other gardens throughout the Chicago area. So like a lot of people have said, we also have kind of gone to this online model. At one elementary school site, we created a blog with a teacher liaison, and just a couple of specifics. The blog I know is there, but we did videos via Vimeo. We found that format to be most useful for us. And what we really want to focus on was activities that students could do at home related to gardening in some capacity, but we wanted to make sure that the families didn't feel like they needed to go out and buy anything. That was really, really important. I know people have kind of alluded to that, but that was really a big criteria for us in this time. So yeah, it's been pretty successful. We've gotten good response from it. And just one tip for filming, because I don't have a big crew helping me make these little videos, is that I use a music stand to put my filming device on. So if you guys are trying to figure things out, that has worked really well for me. So thanks.
Thank you so much. So next up is Jennifer, followed by Carla. Oops, wrong way.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. This is Jen Mumpara. I'm the Director of Education at Fresh Farm and oversee our Food Prints program. And I'll be quick, but I just wanted to share with you guys the Food Prints Anywhere materials that we've put together on our website. There's going to be a new module each week that has a whole, like kind of a week's worth of materials that students and families could use to engage with food education and gardening education. This month is really focused on Earth Month. Next month is going to be more of a science focus, and we'll continue to do these until schools reopen. So that's what our team has shifted to doing rather than teaching in schools. But we're also, a bunch of our teachers are also taking advantage of this time to do online PDs. And we're using our accessible school gardens, which is about 10 of the 15 we oversee, to grow a lot of food that then is going to be given to families who are in need.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
So next up is Carla, and she'll be followed by Erin.
It doesn't quite look like Carla is on. If she jumps back on, we can have her share. So Erin will go directly to you if you are ready.
Hi, I'm with Brookings Harbor I'm with Brookings Harbor School District, and working with K through 12. We've created a blog where we are working with the garden manager, presenting weekly to-do lists, as well as a virtual garden lesson online. Like Leah was saying, trying to really stick to lessons that kids can do at home under any circumstance with materials they have on hand. I've been in touch with the teachers that I was working with to make sure they know that there's a blog that they can offer to enrich what they're doing virtually as well, and have also worked with teachers to distribute things like seeds to their students so they can work along with the virtual activities we're creating on our blog. Also, we're sharing our blog not just with teachers, but on social media, using our PTO website to distribute that to parents. Just being as adaptable as possible with our actual school gardens. We're still growing some hydroponic lettuce that we're going to be either distributing through our food pickup or to our local food bank, and just trying to be adaptable in these times.
Thank you so much. So we just have two more up. We have Lauren and Autumn.
Oh, hi everybody. This is Lauren at the Cornucopia Project. We're based in New Hampshire. We've been teaching kids in primarily elementary school for almost 15 years, and really gotten cozy in that direct teaching. So making that shift over to digital has been interesting for me. We work really closely with the teachers in our district in our curriculum, and it also builds up year after year in K through 4th. So I've been working with the curriculum coordinators for the district. It's 8 elementary schools to make sure that we're still delivering on the core pieces of our interdisciplinary curriculum remotely. I'm also trying to find solutions for getting seeds and supplies to our kids utilizing the school meal delivery system we have through our bus routes. We also have a middle school greenhouse that we're managing, and we haven't yet figured out in our state if our school year is going to completely end or if we're going to return. Right now we're scheduled to return in the first week of May. So we're kind of on hold with two different plans for how we're going to proceed. We have a farm that is mostly for middle school students and high school students. They have a farm business there that the students run, which has been serving the local restaurants primarily, a couple of senior living facilities as well. But now we've had to shift our business because the restaurants are mostly closed down or operating at a lower level. So now we are partnering with our local food pantry to find ways to get more produce in the hands of people who need it. We've increased kind of a weekly produce pickup bag that we're offering to the community. And we've ramped up our seedling production so that we can provide seedling packages to people in our community through the food pantry, through a family services center, and directly from our farm to families who are able to start a garden at home. Some of those will be offered at no charge, and those who can't afford to pay something for it, we're asking them to do so. We've started a social media campaign called What's Cooking Community to help bring the community together, sharing the recipes from home, and just to kind of celebrate how they're making do with what's in their pantry while we're all avoiding travel as much as is possible. What we've done digitally for curriculum has really been a combination of creating kind of handout style, but on the digital platform, including photos and explanation of vocabulary that we're giving to teachers to share with their students, but also videos that show the work that we would have been doing in the garden. So there's at least that visual to connect with. And then hopefully students will still have a sense of what they're doing, especially those incoming kindergartners and first graders when we do get a chance to work together again. So that about sums it up for me. It's been great hearing everyone else's input. So thanks so much for including me.
Thank you so much. So now we have one more left. Autumn, I know we're getting close on time, so if you can hit the highlights for us, that would be great. Oops,
yep.
Sorry about that.
Hi, everyone. Easy for me to hit the highlights because what we are doing is very similar to what all of you guys are doing. One of our big focuses right now are getting garden kits out to our students that have seed soil and starts, and we're using our food service to do that, along with integrating garden lessons through our Google Classroom platform. That's all.
Did we lose Autumn?
Yeah. Nope, I'm done. I was just making it short.
Okay.
Thank
I didn't know
you.
if you wanted to, did you want to share anything about how you got your local business involved, or?
Yeah, definitely. So Bonnie Plants is a big distributor up here in our rural area, and they've teamed up with us and have agreed to provide as many starts as we need. So we're doing a survey with our students, giving them a list of what's available, and they are letting us know what they want. And so we're getting those seedlings and starts together, and we'll be getting those out in about 2 weeks when it's about planting time here. And then we're also all of the seeds that the kids had started before we went on break, I've been taking care of at home, and we'll be getting those out to the kids as well.
Well, thank you so much to everyone who shared. I am going to check in with Tristana, so to see how she'd like to wrap things up, because I know we're right there at the end of time. So
yeah, thank you so much, and thank you everyone for sharing all of your great resources and really sticking to sharing what already hadn't been shared before. So thank you. And also just really appreciate everything you're doing for your communities. We don't have time for questions, which is totally fine. There were some very specific questions to specific presenters. So if that happened, I'm going to follow up and connect you two so that if presenters wouldn't mind just answering some more specifics about how they're doing that. We did get one question about, what are different platforms that people are using? And I'm going to direct you to our website, the sgsonetwork.org/COVID, and the distance teaching resources. If you click on the first link, there's a curated list kind of including different details that might cover that for you and kind of give you a place to check things out. And then in addition, we also got a suggestion about growing produce and working with your school food services to potentially include garden produce in any food that they're giving out to families at this time. So we won't be able to go into specifics about that. I know there's more of a question around that, but again, thank you everyone for joining us and for sharing, and thank you for everything that you're doing to support your community at this time. Be sure to join us next week for focusing specifically on garden care and garden management. Some of us covered some of those pieces today, but we'll be diving even more deeply into that next week. So thanks so much. See you then.